Hey guys, today we're going to head into the swamp and we are going to do test number 6 using the Necrophonic app. The last 2 tests that we did, we were not here in the swamp. We went many kilometers from here and we did not hear the demon word once. The first couple of tests back here, it said it dozens of times. So now I've also had a breakthrough where the last 2 tests, especially the metal detecting one, it told us things we were going to find before we found them. Like, whatever we're communicating with knows the future. You know, there were clear examples in that video. It said soap. We found soap hanging in a tree. It said bottle opener. We found a bottle opener. It said a fish. I'm metal detecting. Who would expect to find a fish when you're metal detecting? But that's exactly what we found. We found a frying pan down on the beach with a fish in it. It said mats, and there were mats on the trail. You cannot deny these things. Even one of those would have been proof solid to me that we were communicating with something that could see what we were going to find that day before we found it. You know, and to have all of those examples completely blows my mind. So we're going back here today, and I have no doubt in my mind we're going to hear that D word. We're going to run a counting. We're going to show the total of times we hear it, and we're going to try to get to the bottom of this. It's just empty swampland. I don't understand, you know, what dark entity, why it's back there. I definitely feel there is something, because the Hack Shack also tells us, you know, fear the entity that's out here. Well, no, I don't want to fear the entity. I want it to fear me. And we're going back here, and we're gonna take back the swamp. All right, it's really wet in here, and we've got to move quickly through this section of swamp because the mosquitoes are terrible. You can see all the grass and everything is so grown up. It's over my waist. You can't even see my snowmobile trail in here anymore at this point. So we're not going to stop and run the app here. We're going to keep going and head for drier land before we do that. We're heading for the creepy corner. I've got my bug net just in case. We're gonna need it, I'm pretty sure. The flies are swarming me right now. I haven't even stopped moving. As I mentioned in a previous video, a large portion of the swamp back here is for sale. So I'm just waiting for some time to go by. And when this guy doesn't get an offer on his ridiculous price that he wants for swampland, $2 million bucks, I'll slide my offer back in there. I'm gonna use a third party because he refused to give me a price before. I don't know why. He won't deal with any of the neighbors that live down here. So we may get it, we may not. But I'm not gonna stand by and idly let them turn it into a 13 complex subdivision, which is what this guy's trying to do, and turn the beautiful wet land, you know, Nipissing runoff is what this is. It's the main lake here. There are all kinds of turtles, sandhill cranes, all kinds of shorebirds and ducks and everything. We see the blue herons fly over our house every morning and every night because they fly out of the swamp and they go down to the river. So, you know, Mattawa Conservation Authority is going to play a big role in what happens back here. Because if this guy sells the land to somebody else, it's going to turn into a 10-year battle for me. Because I will not just let them build this without going through every, you know, environmental phase 1, 2, and 3, species at risk assessments, whatever I can throw at them, that's what we're going to throw at them. There's only one reason why this property is for sale and listed as $2 million, and that's pure greed. You know, prices in the market were up. He should have sold it last year. He probably you know, probably might have got a bite on his 2 million. But now that prime rates are going up, interest rates have gone up, the market's cooling down a little bit. I hope it never happens, guys. I hope it never comes to that battle. But it makes me angry because well before any of this happened, when I moved in here 7 years ago, I went down and asked the guy, you know, I heard this property's for sale, will you sell it? Never got back to me at that point. So yeah, it kind of makes me mad because it's just a pure profit. You know, it's, people don't care, right? Oh, you just want to buy it and keep it the way it is and protect it as wetlands and wildlands? Sure, I'll sell it to you at a reasonable price. Nope, they don't care. I might make 2 million and put in a subdivision and ruin all of this beautiful nature, but I don't care because I'll have 2 million. And I'll tell you, this guy is already a millionaire 10 times over. And that's a fact. How much fucking money do you need? All right, we're at the creepy corner. We're gonna stop and do a session here with the Necrophonic. I just sat down on a rock on the trail and it's wet. It rained all morning. And the bugs are terrible. All right, spirits, I want to talk about this land. Tell me about this swampland, its importance. What is going to happen to this land? Am I a light being? Did I volunteer to come down here? What is my purpose? Am I the light? Have I been in heaven before? And have I been to earth before? Have I been reincarnated? Or is this my first trip here? Am I an old soul? I do believe that this app was created and intended for the use of entertainment purposes. But I also believe that there is more to it, and those that are strongly connected to spirit and are spirituality aware, there's more to it. You know, there are things coming through the box that make sense. I believe 100%. It's talked about my dead friend Doug. You know, he said sorry. Just so many things. The family names, the metal detecting outing. There is more to this than I can explain, okay? Had you asked me about this, you know, 3-4 years ago, I would have said absolute nonsense, right? It's been a very slow evolving of my belief in this. I mean, I've always been spiritual. I've always believed that you could communicate with family members and, you know, prayed to the universe or a higher power, not necessarily a god, but I think I'm coming around. on the idea of God. You know, we've talked about that in our spirituality series. I am evolving all the time. And I am in a different place than I was a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We've talked about it on the channel. And I honestly believe that even though this app and some of the other ones, maybe even the Hack Shack, you know, they are entertainment purposes, but in the right hands, they work. There is no doubt in my mind, they work. And all you can do is try it, right guys? I've had a couple people ask me, do you recommend this app? Yeah, I do. After the first 5 tests, 100%, I recommend Necrophonic. There's something to it. I also recommend Hack Shack. We get responses on there all the time. We've been using that one for a couple of years. Mind-blowing stuff. And I believe, honestly, that you've got to record these sessions and play them back and listen, because especially Necrophonic, which spits out a whole bunch of replies at one time, you're going to miss 90% of it unless you're playing it back and listening to it over and over on the computer. Then you'll begin to hear and piece out what they're saying, because they talk over each other sometimes. Do I believe it's real? Absolutely. What about Gage? Is Gage a light worker? Is he some kind of light entity? Did he choose to come here and help me? Oh, look at my poor dog, guys. The mosquitoes are just crazy back here. I feel it is my job to protect this land, to keep it as organic, undisturbed as possible. Is that right? What I'm really interested in is, you know, how this has evolved. You know, me and my spirit communication, Grant and his channel, the spirit communication, it's almost like it was like preordained. You know, my eyes were opened. I went through this whole enlightenment thing. We talked about it on the channel. We did many videos. And now here I am listening to and totally 100% believing that there is more to this app. Talk about it. Tell me about it. Is that greedy old man? Is he a dark source of energy? Is he related in any way to evil or this demon? And just to prove to you guys that I have so much faith in this and that whatever question I ask, they will give me an answer, I want to talk to Dr. Scotty Peck, author of The Road Less Traveled, and Further Along the Road Less Traveled, and Beyond the Road Less Traveled. I am just finishing the 3rd book now. I've promoted those on the channel as excellent learning books, you know, to figure out a bit about psychology, the way we work, why you think the way you do. So many reasons and things. I think he was a brilliant author, and I want him to come through and say something, maybe even his name, his wife's name, and give us a piece of advice. My spirit team, bring him in. Alright guys, I have to get out of these bugs. I don't know, I haven't really caught a lot of what was said today. There's a few things here and there, but I try not to talk and acknowledge it because I don't want to interrupt what they're saying. We're going to analyze it on the computer 100%, guys. We're going to get answers that make sense and are intelligent. This is the 6th test. There's no doubt in my mind. The first 5 made absolute sense, so number 6 is going to make sense. What are they telling us? What did they say? Let's go find out.